Hello everyone, I'm back with another edition of Let's Chat with Mrs. B. Yeah, let's get going. So it took me a little minute to figure out what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, and then it came to me, ping, and eureka moment. Schools. Yep, we're going to talk about schools, in particular racism in schools, and what I think is going to be a good start in solving the problem with racism in schools. It's, like I said, just a start. We have a long way to go, but these are the things that I think that if they are addressed immediately will make some kind of immediate change. Right, so what are my tips, guys? The first thing is the curriculum. I really think that the curriculum needs an overhaul, in particular history. We need history to be taught from a place of non-bias, not from one person's point of view, not from one racist's point of view, not from a political leader's point of view. It just needs to be taught in truth and in full. In truth and in full. There are many gaps in the history that our children are taught. I mean, to say there are many gaps actually is a bit of an understatement. There's a big equator, like huge, not equator. Did I say equator? Crater. A big crater of a gap of knowledge that our children are taught. So yeah, that would be the first thing that I say is number one, the curriculum. Overhaul that curriculum. Number two, I think we need to talk about teachers, and in particular recruiting teachers into positions of heads of departments, of heads of schools, and in all schools, not just in state schools, in private schools, in grammar schools. I think that the teaching staff, the broad spectrum of staff, needs to reflect the broad spectrum of pupils that you have in your schools. We need to see a broad spectrum of teachers, and not just female as well. We need male teachers as heads of departments, as well as females as well. One of my children's school, there's hardly any male staff. You know, I've got all boy children, and I'd like to see more male teachers and more male teachers of colour in schools. Definitely, it's going to make a huge difference. Children will automatically know that, you know, that teacher empathises with me, that teacher knows what it's like to stand in my skin. I don't even have to explain myself when coming to them with a certain problem. They're already, to a certain extent, know what I'm talking about. So 100%, what I think you need, again, I will reiterate it, is to employ teachers into those higher levels of school. It's not going to be that easy. You are going to have to do work, because I think a lot of people don't have the confidence to apply for those jobs because they don't even think their CV is going to get looked at. It is going to take a little bit of work. It's not going to be that easy. So you are going to have to write something into those applications to say that, you know, we do actively recruit people of colour, or we make sure that we fulfill the equality or diversity quotas of the school. And sorry, let me just make one thing clear. I'm not really a big fan of positive discrimination. I think that you should recruit the right person for the job, but the right person for the job can be a person of colour. You have got to get those people to have the confidence to apply. So you've got to actively seek them out as well. Going to take some work on your part, but you've got to do the work. Yes, you've got to do the work. Okay, and now following on from that, pastoral care teachers, pastoral care heads, counsellors, those kind of teachers in the school, I think we need to mix those up as well and make sure that some of them at the very least are from BAME backgrounds as well. So moving on from that, next, Banta, one of my favourite things. Not that word can be very, very dangerous, because some children hide behind that word and say, I wasn't joking, it was just banter. So we need to educate our children quite early on to distinguish the difference between banter and downright racism, downright abuse, right? So I think that's something that we need to do as parents, and also it's something that teachers and heads of schools need to address as well. You know, a quick assembly about that will do the trick now and then. You know, a lot of children hide behind that, throw out some nonsense and say, oh, I was only joking, it was some banter. No, I'm very sorry, it's not banter. It's not banter, it's racism. It is racist abuse, okay, and will not be tolerated. And yes, so that's a job for us to do. Okay, so next also we need to talk to the teachers. The teachers need training, basically. That's my next point, training. Teachers need a lot more training in identifying their unconscious bias. I think we all have it, but, you know, teachers need to be aware of when they are throwing away comments, you know, those throwaway remarks that they, again, consider as banter, but it's actually downright racism when they lump children together, lump children of a certain group together, or a certain ethnicity together as well, and give them those throwaway remarks that that presumes that they're all going to act a certain way, or act the same way, or you know all those kind of things, you know, that unconscious thing. When the teachers need training, they need training in those areas. I'll speak from experience. I have teachers who have blended my children's names together because for some reason they find it difficult to get their tongue around 2-syllable names, and so, or distinguish between the two of them. I don't know what the problem is, one or the other. So they call both my children the same name. Just one person has done it. It's not everybody who's done it, just one teacher in particular. Just laziness, unconscious bias as well. And it's just laziness. To me, that's downright laziness. My mother always taught me, you know, ask a person their name and try and call them by the name that the mother gave them. And then if they say you can call them by a shortened version, that's okay. But don't be lazy. Don't be lazy about it. So I think teachers need to do that. And I've even had teachers shout at my children and get to the end of their little rant and realize that, oh, it was some other black kid that they were meant to be talking to or shouting at. Yes, I have had that. So, you know, teachers need training in these areas. It's really, really frustrating, and it actually breaks my heart that my children have to go through that and actually have to like accept it, or they have chosen to accept it, because really, what could they do about it? Who do they turn to? Which goes back to my point of having a overhaul of teachers as well, because they need that person that they can go to. Who do we go to if a teacher is being racist? Help me out with that one. Who do we go to if a teacher is being racist? I've probably got the strength as a parent, but who does a pupil go to? Where do they go? Where do they turn to? So yes, we need that to be addressed, please. And in dealing with unconscious bias as well, I think that it should be written into the school procedures as to what will happen actually, whether it's if a teacher or a pupil is caught using racist language. What are the repercussions? I think it should be written into the school procedures so that pupils and teachers alike know that, you know, there are serious repercussions to this and it is an offence. The school will not tolerate it, and A, B, C, D will happen if you do that, and it has to be followed through each time. Yeah, that will give confidence, won't it? Wow, this one for me is a big one. This is a huge one. Social media and WhatsApp. Social media, I don't know why I can't say social. Social media and WhatsApp. Yes, if your children are in WhatsApp groups, you need to be monitoring those groups. And I know there are going to be you parents out there that say, you know, it's a violation of their rights, a violation of their privacy, a violation of something. I don't business. As long as I'm paying that phone bill, I'll be looking at that phone, because honestly, it's a massive insight into as to what's going on in your child's life. I have been known to remove my children from WhatsApp groups if I don't like the tone of the WhatsApp group, because the way I see it is that if that phone gets confiscated at school, it's going to be some joint enterprise punishment. You're all going to be at fault. So it's just best that you're not in the group and you're not seen to be taking part. Also, you know, people are bullied via WhatsApp. I've had my children be sent images racist images before, years ago. It hasn't happened recently, years ago. And he didn't even know that it was a problem. He saw it as banter because, you know, the friend who sent it him hid behind the banter word and said, haha, I was only joking. I found I was furious. Honestly, I was absolutely furious, you see. But if I didn't check the phone, I wouldn't know that it was happening now, and I wouldn't have known that I had to talk to my child about this issue, because I think maybe, you know, we were a bit late in explaining these things to him. But you know, he understood it after that night. Let me tell you that for free. He soon knew about it. It's not gonna happen in my house, not at all. No. And then leading on from that, where do I go? Where do I go to report that problem? Do I approach the child's parent? Do I approach a teacher? Do I approach a headmaster? What are the repercussions going to be for my child, because he's got to remain at the school, you know, and I'm a big person in putting myself in my children's shoes. I'm always worried, rightly or wrongly, about the repercussions for them, because I know that they've got to stay in that school for longer. And we were at school, we know what it was like. You didn't really go to teachers about things like that. You dealt with it yourself, the way that kids do. They have their own little code of conduct, don't they? So we need to be really aware of that as well. So maybe that's one of the reasons that I didn't. In fact, that is one of the main reasons that I didn't. There was no maybe about it. But really, I think there should have been procedures in place that I was aware of that gave me the confidence to go and approach somebody about it and nip it in the bud, you know. But in that instance, I dealt with it the best way that I knew how, which was, you know, talking to my son, letting him know that it's not acceptable for anybody to send anything like that to him at all, and it's not acceptable for him to be in any group that where any of those kind of messages are being exchanged in any way, shape or form. And the last one is, if you have time, mums and dads, maybe join the parent forum. If your school hasn't got one, start one up. I've approached my school, my children's school now, and asked for them to set up a parent forum that deals with these kind of issues, so that we can voice our concerns and try and come to a collective decision as to what the best way to approach these problems are, and, you know, and discuss any shortfalls that we think there might be in the school, any holes in policy, procedures, and, you know, again, you know, I'm big on positive spaces, you know, a way for us to find a positive space to try and deal with these problems. I really like my children's school, so this isn't a slag off school day. It is just a way to find solutions to make the school a better place and a more inviting environment for everybody of all races, all colours, all creeds. So that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't rabbit on too quickly through it. Please do let me know what you think. You know, I have mummy brain, I really do. It never came back after number 3. So if you have anything that I've missed off, any points that you think I really should have covered, let me know below. And don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Please do subscribe so that you will be the first to know when I release another video. Have a good day all.